of course, they had a white paper, as all coins and tokens and ICOs do. The general mistake is to assume that prices are continuous and that there's unlimited liquidity, neither of which is true in a distressed situation. And so they even had like an academic paper written by somebody with some academic credentials, but evidently, whoever wrote that was not kind of a markets guy to realize the reality of it. And, of course, even if there is liquidity, while the thing is growing, that doesn't mean there'll be liquidity while it's shrinking, because once confidence is lost, everybody heads to the door, and there are very few buyers. I believe that the contagion, because one risk with DeFi particularly is that there's a bit of recursion going on where people will, deposit assets into a yield platform like Anchor, and in some cases they get tokens reflecting their, the portion of the liquidity pool they own, and those tokens have their own value. So you'll say deposit $100 and get $80 worth of tokens out, assuming the token market keeps confidence, and then they'll take the tokens and they'll deposit them in another liquidity pool, and they'll get, and it'll just keep going. So there's a kind of murky, high leverage through sort of contagion risk and recursion in those platforms. And Alan Farrington wrote an interesting article about that. It's called "Only the Strong Will Survive." Yeah, I think unfortunately there's a bit of perverse incentive, which it may not fully have reset or flushed out, which is that for the fund investors and insiders, if you like, they can potentially have already taken a profit out and actually contributed to the fall by withdrawing liquidity from it or market selling effectively. So while professional investors and large investors can make money doing this, they're going to be inclined to do it again. So that's to say that just because something is risky, may not work, or is predicted to not work, doesn't mean that people won't try to play the game. So, a lot of the altcoin trading sector is basically a game of knowing participants who know it's going to, collapse or be eclipsed, taken over by something else in a period of time, and they're just playing a timing game. I was like, well, I'll collect the yield until the yield pool is dry and the rates drop to market, and then I'll switch to the next one, and I'll keep an eye on sort of precipitous fall and get out before the next guy. And some of them succeed in doing that, right? I think that actually accounts for like 90% of the altcoin market, if not more, actually. I think people know the score, but they want to play with a casino, basically.
Yeah.
And it's risky. Yeah, myself, I just keep completely out of it because, apart from the risk profile of it, it seems to me as, unproductive to the extent of, misallocation of capital, creating larger and larger casino or Ponzi-like things. Eventually that's going to cause regulators to step in. Maybe the pendulum will swing too far on the regulation side. Ultimately, value for humanity comes from building products and services that improve the quality of life, improve economic well-being, and that's generally reflected in stock prices of public and private stocks, right? And this is none of that. It's actually sucking capital out of productive uses of capital, so probably slowing down, human progress, if you like, or development of new, technology.